documentary on the building of the Twin Towers, and it turns out they're so close to the ocean, they needed to retain all that water. So they had to build these walls, and each one of those little things there are screws. They're just rods, steel rods that are going to the bedrock to hold that wall. And this is not the only, this is probably the last one because the building was right there. So this is
I think those are called anchor bolts.
Anchor bolts, yeah. And they call those walls slurry walls. Crystal's covered up like it was sandy.
I'm cold.
Today I'm gonna show you how to build this electric skateboard. As you know, electric skateboards are a thing now. They've been a thing for a while. There's the expensive ones, there's the cheap ones, and everything in between. But there's a new breed of electric skateboards. They're off-road. And you got a glimpse of one of them last time I was in New York. And I got to meet Vitaly, which runs the Portable Electric Vehicles channel on YouTube. He built himself this beast of an electric skateboard that supposedly does about 55 miles per hour, which is just insane. So I thought I would show you how I would build one on the cheap, using off-the-shelf parts to keep the build simple. So let's get started. Let's make a Powerwall.
Positive, positive.
Well, they're not super even, but
Okay.
all right. Let's start this show. How is it going, everyone? How is everyone doing? Let's separate the chat here so we can have more of the chat available. Can you guys hear me, first of all? Can you guys hear me? 108 of you guys watching here. It seems like everyone's here. We're ready to go. Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting... Oh. Yeah, there we go. I posted it on Facebook now, so people from the group can join us and stuff. How's it going? Island Time's in the house. Welcome, Islands. Thank you for doing all the hard work of monitoring, of yeah, keeping the chat on check, moderating the chat. Thank you for that. Argentina is in the house. Yes. By the way, there's someone from oh my god, there's someone from down South America. Oh, Crystal's gonna come in. Hold on right now, guys. I just started. I haven't seen Crystal in the entire day. Hold on, let's just say hi to her quickly, and then I'll come back for you. I've been waiting out here for her all day, and my dogs are about to go crazy, so hold on. I saw a documentary on the building of the Twin Towers, and it turns out they're so close to the ocean, they needed to retain all that water. So they had to build these walls, and each one of those little things there are screws. They're just rods, steel rods that are going to the bedrock to hold that wall. And this is not the only, this is probably the last one because the building was right there. So this is
I think those are
one.
called anchor bolts.
Anchor bolts, yeah. And they call those walls slurry walls. Crystal's covered up like it was sandy.
I'm cold.
Today I'm gonna show you how to build this electric skateboard. As you know, electric skateboards are a thing now. They've been a thing for a while. There's the expensive ones, there's the cheap ones, and everything in between. But there's a new breed of electric skateboards. They're off-road. And you got a glimpse of one of them last time I was in New York. And I got to meet Vitaly, which runs the Portable Electric Vehicles channel on YouTube. He built himself this beast of an electric skateboard that supposedly does about 55 miles per hour, which is just insane. So I thought I would show you how I would build one on the cheap, using off-the-shelf parts to keep the build simple. So let's get started. Let's make a Powerwall.
Positive, positive. Well, they're not super even, but they're okay.
Whoa, they are kind of all over the place. And just like that, we assembled a 1 kilowatt hour battery pack, 24 volts, ready to be used. All right, we're back. Look at what Crystal got me. This is like a giant bag of whatever, these things. Don't tell her I'm giving them to her dog because she doesn't like them. But that's the only way to get my dogs. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Miss Vicky's. Alright guys, let's get serious here. What's going on? Yeah. Hello from the Bay Area. This is Johnny Stacks. Oh yeah, so I was trying to tell you, there was someone that was trying to get a hold of me through the thing, and we've been having a hell of a time. This week I was at home. If you guys saw the video, I was out in Vegas. We did SEMA. For those of you who don't know what SEMA is that car show, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. And so I was in no condition to be doing the sessions on thing, and I forgot to turn them off. And so this gentleman is trying to get a hold of me. I'm sorry if you're watching this. I'm sorry. We will figure out how to reschedule and then do the thing as soon as we can. Right? Today I was there, but he didn't have sound. He couldn't see me. He couldn't hear me. We will figure it out. We will. Yeah, we'll get to spend some time with you and stuff. David Stepson says, doing another Boston 5300 deal, please. No, so those, unfortunately, those cells were, you know, it's a one-time deal. It was they were available, but we do have some cells coming up that are that are very, very attractive too. As you know, these cells are Revolt cells are either very near or are being shipped right now as we speak. So everybody who ordered those is going to get an update pretty soon, and we're going to hopefully see these batteries very, very soon. And so also, I don't know if you guys saw, but oh God, it's kind of dark in here. What's going on? I don't know if you guys saw, but Mooch, the battery Mooch, this John, I think his name is John. Anyways, he's a very well-respected person in the battery world when it comes to like, he checks batteries for like vaping stuff, for the radio. In fact, he might be here. Last time he was here, and that's how we got him. Those are bird dogs. Crystal already caught me. He did the a review on those cells, and it pretty much yeah, it corroborated with my, you know, take on those cells, right? I checked them, I tested them and stuff, but, you know, what do I know, right? I don't know. I'm using, like, no specialized equipment. I'm just, you know. And he does, and he did the test, and they came out pretty good. So I'm pretty happy about that. Now I can, now we can really get behind these batteries. We're also doing testing, cycle testing, so they're going to be great. But for those of you, I realize that not everyone is like me, right? There's other points of views. There are other people who think differently, and it's okay. Both can coexist. So there are obviously other people that want to use brand name cells, and we're also working on bringing those from, brand new ones, but also used ones, and at a really discounted price, right? So I think we're working on something that we might make available on that website too, on that group buy, even though it's not going to be a group buy kind of thing. Well, maybe it doesn't. It's kind of a weird thing, but anyways, some cells are coming our way, some really attractive cells. So yeah, stay tuned. Don't waste all your money. I know it's what, November now. I know people are buying a lot of stuff. SEMA post was awesome. So was it SEMA? Yeah, it was SEMA, but with an S, right? Yeah. I see in Alibaba some cheap 100 kilowatt hour batteries. Can you check it? Yeah, so it turns out I had an idea that there was a lot of vetting to find these cells, but I didn't realize what kind, like how much of it, right? So there are a ton of sellers that we check, and by me I mean my extension, my partners, right? My partner, the one that found these cells, did. So he did his homework, you know what I mean? He checked, contacted a ton of battery manufacturers in China, and they were all just, not very good. And it took about 3 times for us to order cells to finally, get to the bottom that this manufacturer was a good one. He manufactures cells for the external market, which is where we are, not for the internal Chinese market, which is where all the other crappy cells are for. So it's not easy finding good cells in China. And, definitely Muchas Bases, David Allred. Yep, he's the guy, man. And he totally did the work. Not only that, but he also, if you guys are not members of our Facebook group, you guys should join, because he puts his posts over there, and they are pretty awesome. He actually did a test on our what is it? On our standoffs, right? And I said that the difference between the aluminum ones and the brass is so low. First of all, the conductivity, the resistance is so low, right? And the difference between the two is so negligible that it didn't matter that we're using brass instead of the thing, right? How did I know that? I really didn't know that. That was just my idea from evaluating the thing. I was like, yeah, but we're only pushing a few amps through these. At the end of like a stack of 10, we're only pushing 10, 15, 20 amps. It's no big deal. And so then he tested it with real equipment and real numbers. And so he actually now agrees with that. And that was his take. If you want to read that, let me put a link to our Facebook group. Does anybody have a thing or a Facebook group? Yeah, here we go. I have a link to our Facebook group. If anybody watching tonight here is not a part of our Facebook group, you should go check it out. There's a ton of people that are putting stuff in there. Oh, there we go. Island Times he's on it. Look at that. So anyways, yeah, I'm pretty happy about that, because yeah. So then I have a couple other people that I've sent the cells to. They're gonna check them, and hopefully they'll come back good, and then we don't have to worry about those cells just being crap. Of course, but also we're gonna work hard on getting some higher quality cells, also higher capacity and stuff, because I understand not everyone, not everybody thinks the same, and it's okay. Ruben Salerstars in the house. Thank you. He is a what are you, a member? What is it? What are we called though? Yeah, he's a member for 1 month. So everybody thank him, because he's kind of funding these live chats, right? These live chats are for the members. You can become a member by joining. There's a button in the bottom there, and then you click on there, And so I don't know. Maybe in the future, this Monday night will be limited to only members. As of right now, they're open to everyone. But these guys are the ones that are making it happen. So everybody's thank Ruben Salazar for that. Here we go. What's going on? What else is another update? Okay, another update. PCBs are in the house. PCBs. And how many did we order? How many did he order? I don't know. I don't remember how many, but in the thousands and thousands and thousands. So those should be on their way also. And we will be able to have them ready for you guys so that you can just purchase them and then right away ship them with all the stuff and you start working on your batteries, right? So eventually our plan is to be able to order in such large quantities that we will be able to sell them to you for less, that when you can buy them just straight going through straight through the sources, right? And we are very well on their way to do that, and so that's the aim. Right now you're paying, you know, a little bit more, so just know that you will be helping us in the community get to that point, and then, you know, there's gonna be, you know, we're gonna be a point where we're you know, everybody's working, it's working for everybody kind of thing, you know. The board battery holder, anyone have a link to the purchase? Yeah, kit.com. There's a few, there's one right there. Do you think nickel strip will work as a bus bar? What? To spot weld fuse wires to instead of brass? Yeah, I think so. I don't see battery mooches in the house. Look at that. Yeah, no real practical difference between the brass and aluminum standoff. So, how did I know that? I don't know. I think it's just practical. I think it's just, I went off of my practical, I don't know. What do you call that? Practical sense? I don't know. What do you call that? I don't know. I just looked at it and I'm like, the difference is not, I don't know. But I didn't have any real data to back my thing up, right? Sometimes I think a certain way and I'm like, that's just how I think. I evaluate a thing, and then, so thanks to Battery Mooch. Thank you for that doing, by the way. It's I appreciate that. You've helped us out a lot there. Fantastic. Jehu, you look wiped out, man. You getting enough sleep? So it's been a pretty busy day. I had 3 meetings this morning, and then I met up with my partner. We're talking about these batteries and how to get them all straighten out and get all this boards in here and do the thing. You know, eventually I'm gonna like hopefully step back from that and just do you know, the marketing and do the content and stuff and and then they're gonna handle all that stuff, all the logistics, all the stuff. But I'm involved right now because it's early on and we want to set it up. And so yeah, it's been yeah, it's allergies too, and I'm just old. This is just age right here. This is just brass. You mean copper? I haven't heard anyone using brass bus bars. So we're using brass standoffs because those are the Chinese ones, and they're super low quality. When you start looking at the metals, all right, and then you like do the thing. So that's the problem. If you get, you know, standoffs from the US, they're a lot better or whatever. But it turns out that once you check their conductivity, it doesn't, when you put it in the balance, there's not enough benefit to warrant the extra expense of getting higher quality standoffs. American-made standoffs with better metal, or like aluminum standoffs, right? Now you could do it. You can spend the extra money and do it in there, right? But you don't need to. Like, there's the Chinese brass standoffs, as they were already checked. They are good enough. The same way as like copper is good enough instead of using gold or silver, right? There's something better, but copper is good enough. It fits the bill. It fits the application. So Chinese brass standoffs, they fit the bill. They'll do a good job. So that's why we're kind of sticking with them. We just order, you know, we just contacted some suppliers in China and order a bunch of them. Use brass in its Tesla style packs. Yeah, I was using brass back then, and I was testing. I tested them at full load on my bus, which is, by the way, is like 700 amps. Well, at that time it was like 650 max. And because I didn't see any heat, any excessive heat on those, then I think that's why, that was my way of justifying, like, brass is okay, it's good enough. I can use brass, and it's cheap, it's available. Buying copper, it's like way too expensive, it's prohibitively expensive. So I guess I did have some experiments to back up my belief. It wasn't just, you know, out of thin air, but I definitely didn't have the data. Now we do. Click on see perks under the video. Oh, what are the perks? Is that for other members? Is that what it is? We are, wait, what's going on here? Brass has even less conductivity than aluminum, needs to be far thicker to carry the same current, equal the same resistance. Yeah, that's all true. Let's see. Yes, but it was 4 times the aluminum resistance, but both were so low it didn't matter. The current levels typical of those boards. Yeah. So it fits the bill. That's what we're saying here. Still can't find the member button. Oh yeah, it says join. I think the button is called says join, or at least in my says join. So let's see here. Oh man. Any idea of your new battery supplier can source a 123 ANR 26? Oh, that's a cell that we haven't looked for, but we can put it in our list. So we're actually looking for. We're getting a lot of requests for. What's the cell? 30Qs, right? Those are the ones that we don't have because we have 25Rs. We have the 26Fs. Which also was a thing that he mentioned that it had outperformed, our cell outperformed it, at least in, you know, power output and stuff. What are the other ones? There's a couple of other ones, right? Oh, the 35Es. 35Es are probably going to be like the super ideal ones because 3,500 milliamp hours. Those are perfect for Powerwalls, right? So in the span of 10 boards, you can have 1 kilowatt hour. And, you know, a lot of you guys caught that my mistake because I was using that to do the 1 kilowatt hour when I held the thing and it was only 10 boards. It wasn't. With these, you need like 14 boards or 15 boards, something like that. But I was thinking about those because I also had them and I also built a thing with them. So, yeah, so we'll put the 30Qs and yeah, I'll ask for the A123s. Definitely, there's a lot of used ones out here, but they're usually kind of degraded and they're hard to take apart. Yeah, those are. How's your Sunco 788H holding up? So I don't use it much. I've used it to make a few packs here and there, so it's, you know, it's good. But I haven't put it through, you know, spaces. It's Chinese. It's $200. It's probably not gonna last forever. It's like one of those things you use once and then you throw it away, right? Building EV packs, and I'm looking at using brass bars like you did in Tesla style 18650 pack. So yeah, I mean, basically build a pack, put it through spaces, put a thermal camera on it, and then check it, right? Check how it performs. Like that's number one. Can it, you know, does it waste so much energy in use? By the way, when you go and read Battery Mooch's like thing on the cells, you know, I was like, why one of my ideas is like, why didn't they claim this cell as a 10 amp cell, right? Because it can obviously put out 10 amp without heating so much, right? But I guess when you look at the numbers, it turns out that the difference between 7.5 amps and 10 amps, the difference is drastic enough so to waste a lot more energy at the 10 amp load. And so that's why they decide to, you know, downrate it down to 7.5. That is the maximum within temperatures and the cell is operating at its most, not most, at a good enough efficiency level, right? So that's the same thing with using brass stuff. Like, you have to look at how much energy is being lost and all that heat, all that stuff, so that you can decide. You don't want to run stuff too hot. You don't want to run stuff that at too close to a peak, because stuff is not gonna last. Also, heating and cooling also starts, like, the metal start moving around, start shrinking, and so then there's fatigue, and there's a bunch of problems that come with that. So there's a lot of things to think about, but you definitely can use brass. You definitely can use aluminum. And you don't always have to use copper, because copper is, well, it's the most, out of those three, is the most expensive a lot of times, right? Can you ship the battery to India? Is it going to be really expensive? Any other time? So we are shipping to a bunch of places, right? We have orders from all over the world right now, but as it turns out, whatever service they were using to ship all those kind of changed prices or whatever, so that's why we took it back out, and then now we're actually using like UPS now, and we're using our old agent. It was the weirdest thing. Like, somehow they remember me from Jack 35, and we used to do a lot of international stuff. And so my partner's doing the thing there. They were like, "Oh, Jehu? Oh yeah, he's doing the batteries. Is this for that?" And so now I think we're gonna be able to get good rates, and so we're gonna turn that feature on pretty soon. As soon as we can nail down, how much it's gonna cost to do the thing, we're gonna. Our aim is to do worldwide. You can order the stuff everywhere, and you'll be able to get, good, decent rates, not too much. Because it doesn't make sense for stuff to come from China here, and then just to go from here to back somewhere over there close to China, right? So we're trying to, be efficient too for that. I bought the same one, and it's super weak. Yep, it is super weak, but because I use it to do... Let me take another thing here. Because I use it to do the little fuse wire, it kind of works for me. So yeah, it totally sucks for doing the regular stuff. Let's see. Question about BMS. If I build a 100 amp cell and want to parallel another 100 amp cell, can I use a 30 amp of BMS? Maybe silly question, but well, I'm a newbie. So yeah, you can use 30 amp BMS, except that you're gonna be limited to 30 amps, right? The BMS will shut down after 30 amps. So your MOSFETs are gonna be running so hot that it's gonna like shut it down. So if your load, whatever you're powering, can operate below 30 amps, you could totally use it. You just won't be able to go above that. It's gonna be your weak point. It's gonna be your throttle there. But you could totally use it. The good enough company. Okay, let's see. Okay, Gordon Wu says, try to buy the kit.com Jehu, but it will not ship to FPO. Yes. We're working on that. Give us a little more time. Like I say, we're working with UPS to try to negotiate the rates so that they're not super expensive, and then we're going to turn that feature to ship worldwide. I don't know if it will include FPO. I know FPO are problematic because FPO are technically the US, but well, you can be in Afghanistan, right? Yeah, I have no idea if we're going to be able to do FPOs, but hopefully we will. Hopefully we will have good news and say yes. Do you know of an inexpensive battery management system for a 96S 2P? I am building a super powered electric lawnmower. Wait, you run 96 cells? Damn. Well, I mean, there's Baytrium always, right? And then there is the one that EV West sells, which is called Oh my god, I don't know which one. I don't know what it's called. I have to get one from them and then play with it, and then make a video so that we can. And I don't really know the price. So I have to. But that's as far as I know. The ones that that I think I could get behind. Other than that, everything else is for like e-bikes, right? So you're gonna be within, some of them go up to like 72 volts, but definitely not 96. You're talking now like almost 400 volts there. So you're definitely at the EV range, and so I know Baytrim has been used for EVs, but the ones that EV West is selling, it's a smaller one, and that one's made to run on EVs and stuff. So I would check those two. Yeah, I need to get on that. I first have to figure out the BMS for these guys, and once I deal with that, then I'll move on to these other ones and stuff. I'm talking to someone else about it, BMSs too, so I might have something coming up soon. Also, no options for sending to PI, which is where my project will be. Where's PI? I don't know what PI. Let's see. What kind of glass are you cutting? 30 Qs are damn good. 15 amp, 2000 milliamp cells. More power cell than energy cell. Yes. But for some reason, a lot of people are asking for that. And I think maybe they're building mobility vehicles. Maybe, it's weird. Because I'm like, we're on the Powerwall side of things. But not everyone's on the same page. You know what I mean? Like, batteries are batteries. And I think we have a lot of people within the ranks that are like building other stuff that need energy. Like, so there's a lot of people asking for more power out of the boards because these are, they're rated when you use our 4 amp fuses. They're like rated at 100 watts of thing, right? So when that's not enough power to run like a vehicle or whatever. And I'm like, that's by design. I don't want you to run higher than that because those holders can do more than that, right? And plus, I don't know how they would deal with the vibration. So I don't want people using them for cars. We should probably put it on the board. Like, do not for automotive use. Do not, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many or how I say it. People are gonna do whatever they want with these. We're just trying to limit them. Make it harder for them stuff. There's just a lot of people that are doing a bunch of other stuff. Driving a 5 horsepower Balder motor. Wow. Let's see here. So 80 volt max motors are junk, and I want the real deal, but without gas and without engine. Oh, yeah. I guess you would need some power behind those, right? Like for the bigger ones. I'm still running, by the way, PD, I'm still running my bus without a BMS. And my skateboards. And, well, I technically can't say my Powerwall is running without a BMS because each pack has their own integrated BMS. So that's the only BMS that I'm running right now. But yeah, for the most part, I'm still running around with a BMS, without a BMS. Let's see here. 24 volts equals 6S. So we're actually decided that the 7S fits better for 24 volt, and that's why I decided our board to be a 7S. Shunt pages, I got 12 LiPo 4, 10 amp hours, 38 120s. I'm planning to run a 12 volt system. I plan on using night charger 8 cell charger. So can I just make a 38 120 S4 in parallel times 3 in series and charge it as one large 3 cell? Yeah, you could totally do that. That's how multi-cell packs are made. You parallel the cells and then you put them in series, and that just take for instance a Model S, a Tesla Model S. It's 96 groups of 74 cells. 74 cells parallel So it becomes one cell, right? Everything's parallel. All the pluses and minuses are together. And then that connects to another group of 74 cells. And then that group connects to another group of 74 cells. 96, and that's the battery pack. So it's 96 groups, but it's like 4,000, 5,000 cells or whatever it is. If you have 30 cells in parallel, what happens if one goes bad? How do you find that? Yeah, so it's tough because there's such a large number, right? But the thing is that cells usually don't just go bad like that, you know. They usually give you warning signs. You usually have to do something really bad to them. You have to like overcharge them, undercharge them. So there has to be an event for cells to usually go. Usually they just don't like one day just decide like, hey, today I'm just gonna die. So yeah, if you see problems in your pack scene spongy, right, or the voltage is low by 4 volts when it's fully charged, that's an indication like, hey, there's a bad cell. So then you can go and check all your cells and be like, boop, that one, there it is. Or like at full charge, right? If you're like my batteries charges at 126 volts, for example, you divide that by 30, and so you get to 4.2, right? But if at 126 you check one cell and it's higher than 4.2, then you're like, ooh, there's something wrong here because they shouldn't be. It doesn't add up. So then you have to go and check your things. And but again, if you have like, if you build a battery right and you're using similarly size batteries, you know, similarly like quality and similar like state of charge or whatever, then you don't have to worry about that. And that's the reason why I'm opting to use and endorse new cells for this system, right? Because this system is going to be available for everyone that's not particularly very well knowledgeable about batteries. So if you start with like batteries, you know, on all these boards, then the chance of one of these going bad is super low. Super low. There are, it's not impossible, there are chances, you know, but they're like kind of astronomically low, right? So that's how you keep these safe. That's how you keep these from people not having to do a bunch of work that they don't understand, you know, how to do or whatever. Now, obviously, like you guys, there's a lot of you guys that are knowledgeable, that are hardcore DIY guys, and you guys are gonna like jump on those batteries, on those used batteries, because they are like really good, right? Like those like the Boston, right? Those Boston cells are good, right? But you know, every box is like 74 cells and they're brand new, but they've been in that box for I don't know how long. So it's going to require a little bit of work. You know, you're going to have to check the voltages and see, you know, and then cycle them a few times maybe and stuff. But that's why they were $100 a kilowatt hour, because it's just a one-time deal and stuff. And so you guys are going to jump on those, and you're going to be able to get a Powerwall for cheaper, you know, without having to buy new cells. But that's not everyone, right? So it just depends who you are and what you're doing. Woo, okay, a lot of comments. Looking at Leaf batteries Gen 1, would you recommend them versus 650 times 18650s, as they are not new and may only have 70% capacity, but at $75 per 500 watt pack times 14. Yeah, that's actually expensive. That's you're talking about $150 a kilowatt hour for Gen 1s, which are known to be degraded usually, because those were the ones that were getting hot. They were not running any cooling on those. I don't know if I would get those though, and then those are not easily repairable because they come in those canisters. I think you can get them cheaper. Look at my kit.com. Kit.com/Jehu. You can get Gen 2 Leaf batteries, I think, for less than that, or about the same as that. But the Gen 2s are the ones that don't have that problem, I think, from what I understand. So Yeah, don't get the Gen 1s. Stay away from those. Let's see. Struck for the high voltage. Okay, so you guys are talking about that. Let's see. Already. Christian says, when you say you're running without a BMS, do you mean you charge with a dumb charger, or are you using something like an IMAX or other with balance leads? No, I'm charging with a dumb charger. It just charges to 126 volts, right? And so I have my pack is 30S, and I just charge it, and it stops at 126 volts. And then when my car actually don't stop. I should program my car to stop somewhere, but I don't. So I mean, I've taken down my cells to like 1.5 volts, right, where my car wouldn't roll anymore. And because they are because my batteries are group matched so closely together, they've never killed each other, even when it goes super loud, super low. And you know, like my system derates after, so when it's like really low voltage, it doesn't pull like full amperage. It's not gonna put like 700 amps on cells that are at 1 volt, right, or an 80 volt pack, right? So that's also why it saves the batteries. I've run my battery several times down to like almost 0, but I've never killed a cell. You know, you damage it because they don't like to go that far, right? I probably estimated that every single incident of you going past down into the 1 volt probably cost you about 10 cycles of degradation. And those are just rough estimates, just, you know, that I came up with by measuring the amount of degradation that I got on an X number of cycles on a battery, and then the number of times, or where they should have been, and then where they're at, and then say like, well, but that was, you know, I had like X amount of those incidents where they went too far. But one thing I didn't do was take into account that I was going full depth of discharge. So that, they could also be because of that, right? Because I was taking my cells all the way through. Those were lithium iron phosphate. So in those cells, I was going 3.6, charging them every time, and then down to like 2.7 or whatever. So it was full depth. And so maybe that was the reason why I had extra degradation in there. But I just attributed to about 10 about 10 incidents where I completely ran my batteries down to like 2 volts. And so, yeah, basically batteries don't like it. You degrade them extra. If you build the battery correctly, if they're well matched, then you won't kill them. But if you don't, if you have batteries that are so mismatched, then you actually will kill them instantly. And so that's the difference there, right? Can I use that PCV set up in car audio? You can if you have equipment that can run on 24 volts or 48 volts. And again, it's continuous use is 100 watts per board, or 200 watts peak. Or if you do what's the other thing that or if you do build them the other way, this way, or if you build them using these holders, then these are 400 watts, right? So each one of these boards will give you 400 watts. So let's say you have a 1,000 watt, system, you will need three of these guys will do it. Will be able to run continuous, right? It won't last forever because they're small cells or whatever. But basically the output power will be there. So you could use it, but usually in audio, you're looking for some high output, right? So you're probably not gonna want to use my boards, but you can do it. Is your Samba daily driver or just once in a while drive? So it's a daily driver, but I don't drive much. I just go to the store. I go just around town and stuff, Sometimes I go far. to get those batteries, we went, down to San Diego. I go to EV West. Sometimes we go to the beach, and a couple of years in a row, we travel far. We went down to, Arizona. So that was like a 266-mile trip or whatever. Yeah, so I mean, I drive it. It's just I don't drive much. I work from home. I do videos, so. What's the best professional balance charger? I don't know. Probably I like these guys. I just ordered another one. It's the Rev Electrics, what are they called? The Cell Pro? No, what is it? PowerLab 8, PowerLab 6s. I like those. There's the iCharger too, right? I think that's what the other one's called, right? What's the other one? Someone posted it last time. I was supposed to get it. By the time I click on the link, it was sold because it was like under $300 or something, or under $200. Can the Boston be used in car audio? It can, but they don't push a lot of power, so you'll need a big battery for it. iCharger, I think that's the one, right? Michael is let's see. Island times not as far as let's see. I jumped. I'm replacing a 96-volt Trojan lead acid system. What? What are you using 96-volt Trojan lead acid system for your car? Odio esa pantalla de chat, no veo nada. Sí que esperé un video nuevo. Yeah, I don't know. Why are you saying that? Is it too small of a... Yeah, it is really small. Look at this. I'm just like trying to look in there. Can you use track fuses on your PCB? Yeah, that's what I'm using, right? So these boards have trace fuses. That's what we call them. They're right there. They're right there. Those little exposed things right there are trace fuses. And those usually blow, our tests have shown they blow around 12 amps. And that is just basically to keep stuff from just melting, right? But every single one is fused. And then we have the power fuses, which are the bigger ones. And those blow at 4 amps somehow. So how does that make sense? Well, we want to be safe with these. We definitely don't want these guys to be melting. And so, at a higher volt. So these are low voltage trace fuses, right? Because they're at the cell level. But these are higher voltage. So 4 amps at 24 volts, yeah, that's, what is it? That's 100 watts, right? Is that right? I don't know. I'm terrible at math. Let's see here. What are we talking about? When are you coming back to Puerto Rico? I don't know. I don't have immediate plans of going right there right now. I was supposed to go and do a couple of conversions in Puerto Rico. That was going to be pretty cool. Let's see. How can we help our Venezuelan brothers need power for refrigerators due to power outages? I'm actually going to show you that in maybe the next video. I am working on a project that is going to help bring energy. So a little bit bigger than the last one that I did, right, for the Puerto Rico people. So stay tuned for that. Definitely I'm working on that. And I have everything ready. I just need a couple little things. And then shoot it, edit it, bam. Throw it up there. How many of your boards to mimic the Powerwall 2? Well, the Powerwall 2 is what? 14 kilowatt hours? I think it's 14 kilowatt hours, right? So I think that is, I think that's 5 kilowatt hours. Let's see. It's 39 times 2. 39 boards times 2. Oh, come on. 39 times 2. 78 times 7 cells. Yeah, so that's actually 500. Yeah. Cells times 10 watt hours. Yeah, so that's 5.4 kilowatt hours. Right? Times 3. Let's see. Yeah, so about 2 1/4. 2 1/4 of those. There we go. You see them? Oh my god. Let's get these out of here. You see that right there? Yeah. So 2.5 of those. Oh, the dogs. They heard the things. No, there's nothing for you. There we go. The drink's shelf level is not, well, it is, but it doesn't look. I think it's an optical illusion there. I think it's right there. Let's see. Would you sell a Powerwall? I would. I didn't see the dog there. If I needed to. In fact, we're talking about doing some promotional stuff where we have to build. What's up? What you want? What? No, not right now. I'll have to pass. I'm busy right now. We're talking about some promotional project where we are gonna build a bunch of these and then like do a thing, you know, and then after we're like, and then what do we do with those? Because it's a lot of work and like, so I'm like, we can sell the Powerwalls. It's like there's more than enough people willing to buy an already made Powerwall, right? So we might do that. But as of like just a regular thing, I don't want to be building a bunch of Powerwalls. What's your opinion about the back brand cells? So it turns out, I think they make decent stuff. They make like several different like qualities or whatever. Yeah, I think we're gonna. I think I'm gonna try. One of my subscribers had some connection with the back company, with the back factory in China. So I'm gonna see if I can find that. And then, because we want to go, so I might end up going to China soon, and so I definitely would want to go and check out their factories and stuff, and then get some samples, and then start testing them and stuff, just so we can have batteries, you know, like more than just one source of batteries. I sell my kilowatt hour for 400 USD. So James Truck says, I bought an EV conversion with a bad Trojan lead acid battery. I bought 700 Sanyo cells. Oh, you picked the worst ones. And I'm working to build my first 2 modules. I'm going to make each module 25S 12P and put 10 modules in parallel. So 25S. So that's your voltage? You're going for that voltage? But I'm going to try and drive to 7-Eleven on 2 modules. Am I going to blow myself up? Yeah, you can run. Wait, so each module is what? 12P? So you're gonna have 2 modules? So you're gonna try and run your car on 24 cells. Okay, 24 cells. So I don't know what cells are you using? The Sanyos? So I wouldn't run those Sanyos very hard. Maybe 2C. Maybe those Sanyos are what? 2200 milliamp hours? So maybe 4 amps per cell, and you're running what? 24 cells? Is that what you said? Yeah, 12P 24 times 24. So you're basically are going to be limited to about 96 amps. Yeah, definitely somewhere around that, no more than 100 amps. So I would limit your thing to less than that. And by the way, if it's a full-size car, like my bus, for example, 100 amps, and you have a lower voltage. So yeah, 100 amps at a lower voltage. What's the voltage? 25S. 25 times 3.6. Oh yeah, that's 90 volts times 90 amps. Well, that's 8 kilowatt. I mean, yeah, you might be able to drive down to the street. Yeah, you just gotta make sure you keep that under 100 amps. If you like step on it too hard and it tries to squeeze more than 100 amps, you know, you're gonna be blowing stuff up. You're going to be, yeah, maybe, you know, blowing fuses if you're building your packs right, or you're gonna be overheating your cells if you didn't. So yeah, definitely. The Nissan, oh my god, it's time for sleep, says Alfredo Torres. What would you use to current limit your battery pack? Version 2.1 build boards, 14 pieces, and your 100 volt batteries to 275 watt hour. I want to run 24 volt grid tie inverter, but only output power to about 250 watt hours. Well, not watt hours, but you mean the watts, right? So if you get one of these, so the problem is that you can't throttle it. You'd have to throttle it at the inverter. And so, for example, if you get, so you're trying to do what, 275 watts? Is that what you want? So you would probably get like a 500 watt inverter, grid tie inverter, the one that is made to run like between 24 and 36 volts, right? And then you give it on your boards are going to give it 24 volts. And I think you'll be right. You'll be right around there. So I know that at 24 volts, the 1,000 watt inverters will run around 600 watts, so around 60%. So you just have to get one that is like 40% bigger, right? And that is made for the 36 volt thing, and then use that. Or get an inverter that you can like manipulate and specify how much power you want. But those are not, I mean, I haven't found, there's some Chinese ones, but I haven't tried them and stuff, you know. But that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to build one, you know, and then put my cells in there. And I've done some testing at 24 volts, and that's what those things do. So I kind of like them. Idle times is not just the shipping of Powerwalls, is the insurance and the legalities of selling them. But Jay Garcia could probably build the packs, but have the customer fit the cells. Yeah, so that's the problem. You know, whoever builds a thing, then it has to take responsibility, right? And because I'm just some dude in California, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I can't be responsible for everyone's thing, so I don't, and that's the wrong kind of work. I don't want to be building batteries for a living. I want to be making videos. All lithiums shouldn't be ran below 32F, meaning their temps are that low. Store the batteries and inverters in the same room. Yeah, don't run them where it's too cold. They don't like it. Would you ship bulk order cells to India? Yeah, I think we'll be able to ship stuff to India. If it's not, you know, regular like orders, if it's like in large orders, yeah, we'll be able to do it. We're definitely, you know, we're trying to get it going, right? But it's taking a little while. You know, you guys have helped. About 200 of you guys have helped. You guys bought a lot of batteries. There's almost like 20,000 batteries between like 200 of you. There might be a lot of people that actually bought like PCBs and a lot of these Boston. So it's actually less than 200. But that is definitely helping us to get it going. Like the cells are gonna land here, and then the other shipment, the batch 2, by the way, we're accepting orders for batch 2 right now. It's actually on our way, and batch 2 is gonna have extra cells, more cells. And then hopefully there's not gonna have to be a batch 3, because by that time then all the cells we have stock here, and then we'll order more, and by the time that one gets here, you know, it's faster than these ones deplete. So then they're gonna be able to keep, always in stock. It's just a weird thing. It's like moving large inventory batteries. They're not, they're not only expensive, but they're like big. It's like we're talking about pallets and stuff and the batteries and all that stuff. Sam Wapo says, hey Jay, finally, great to finally catch you live. I'm also working on my own combi, but it will be a hybrid. My question is, I hence a hoverboard, my battery died, and I want to build a new one, but the battery that I bought are perplejo, and I want to put roses that made a difference. Oh my god. Juan, I don't understand what you're saying. So, what do you mean roses that made a difference? Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to rewrite that question because I don't get it. Review Nissan Leaf cells. Yeah, I'm gonna get some, put them together. I didn't know that Baytrim had like a Longmont for them. That's crazy. They're kind of like ready to go. We should be like building packs of those and Powerwalls and stuff. 25S12P times 10 packs for 96 volt net gain impulse. Oh no, Jamin. 717 DC is a feasible setup. No, do 30 for the 96. Oh, but your net gain impulse. What's the net gain impulse? That's like the net gain warp. Oh, that's 96. Yeah, you want to be 96. You want to be 96 nominal, I think. So I think you can run that higher. So my system's also 96 and I'm running 130, right? So 30 cells in series. You might be able to do that. I don't know. I think your system's going to be a little bit low on the voltage side. That's 25 kilowatt hours. I still don't understand the point of using the PCB method. The original ways with the plastic 1650 holders soldered together is faster and more cost effective, isn't it? Well, only for some certain people, not for everyone. Not everyone wants to sit there and like buy a spot welder. Not everyone is good at soldering. Have you seen the solder jobs that are popping up in our groups? Woo, scary stuff, right? So yeah, definitely not everyone can put together the things and do a neat enough job to keep it safe. So that's why we're trying to standardize. Like, these boards aren't really for you guys. Like, a lot of you guys are like, members of communities, are building batteries. It's not your first time around, and you have some experience and stuff. Yeah, these are less attractive for you guys, right? But these are gonna be for those first times that just need a battery and they're like, how do we do the thing? We just want to buy a battery, install it in our garage, but we don't want to buy it from Tesla because we can, or we don't want to pay all them. So with the economies of scale, we will be able to offer something that is, if not competitive, is a lot lower, and it's going to be easy for them to, follow a set of instructions and pop them in there, put them together, screw a few things, low voltage, 48 volts. If they don't short anything, then they're not going to get shocked, and then they're going to feel like, part of the thing. Like, I build that battery, I put it together. It's like the IKEA version of the thing. So I think that's one of the ways that we can make the most impact in a problem, right? Where we need batteries. Every home needs a battery, and so pushing this thing where like you test a bunch of old batteries, that's limited in its scope. So this is furthering it back down the line. A lot of people are gonna be able to do this. Where do you get info on this group buy? Oh, go to jehusgroupbuy.com. jehusgroupbuy.com. Doesn't get any easier than that. In fact, let me type it in here. jehusgroupbuy.com. .com. And it's a simple website right now, but you know, it doesn't have everything that we're eventually gonna have in there. To tell the truth, I don't know. I think all the stock is eventually gonna be in stock in Revolt, because they're the ones that are gonna sell their cells, and then they're gonna ones that are gonna pick up our PCVs and stuff. But for right now, because they're kind of like group buys, right? That's why we're doing it on this website. And then I think I'm gonna be able to use that website to do more group buys, or like whatever. Yeah, like a Warp 9 but smaller. Yeah. Oh man, you're going DC, man. Why are you going DC? You gotta jump onto the AC, man. That's where it's at. After salvaging Tesla module batteries, do they get balance when using them in other projects? No, we use well, yeah. Sometimes we have to, right? Depending. So, if you're getting them from the same pack, let's say you're putting 2 or 3 modules like in series, and typically what we're doing is like 5 modules, because there's 6 cells. So then that's 130, right? For like systems like my size. So you just have to make sure that all 6 modules are, you know, same state of charge. So the cells are the same voltage. If you get them typically from the same pack, you don't have to worry about it, because Tesla's system does an incredible job of keeping them. But if for some reason you're getting one module from here, one module from another battery, or you like use and cycle one module, and then yeah, you'll have to manually make sure that they're the same. But typically, you know, you don't have to. I'm running 33 kilowatts and just order Batrium Chevy Volt. In an EV, why is it beneficial to run higher voltage? Well, it's beneficial to run higher voltage because an EV requires large amounts of power, right? So you're talking about, my bus needs about 22 kilowatts just to go down the road at speed, at highway speed. So 22 kilowatt, right? So imagine if you're running 48 volts. Right, so it's 22,000 watts divided by 48 volts, right? So you're talking about 460 amps, right? That's just to run down the road. So if you're actually going at hard acceleration, going up a hill or something, I'm actually seeing something like 400 watts on my 111 system. So 111 volt system times like 400 amps, right? Yeah, you're talking about 44 kilowatt. If you're trying to run 44 kilowatt at 48 volts, then you're talking about 925, right? So very quickly you get to like some incredible amount, 1,000 amps. You know, 1,000 amps requires big, giant, you know, cables, and your contactors have to be like big, or you have to run, you know, multiples. It's really hard to run high current. Once you start getting into the 1,000 amps, you're talking about like next level stuff, right? So in order to keep those low, then you have to up the voltage. And you know, typical cars are, my cars are about it's like 80 kilowatt, right? So that's the system, right? And that's about 100 horsepower. So if you're running anything that's like more than that, then you're running into like 130, 150 kilowatt system. So in order to run at a lower voltage, you would be into the couple thousand amps, and so that's hard to do. So that's why you need to do higher voltage. Woo, what's happening here? Would it be beneficial for me to shoot for the upper voltage capacity of my... Yes, that's what you want to do. The car was wired for 96 on lead acid, so I figured just go with 96, but I couldn't build my packs for 144. Yeah, so let's find out what your controller's top voltage is at, and then try to stay there. And also, Well, I mean, there's equipment depending. Like you can put whatever. There's a lot of like room to play with cells, right? Um, yeah, figure out what the top voltage is and then go there. And then I mean, stay with like. It's also sometimes useful to stay within like a standard. You know, yeah, you chose 25 cells. I guess that could be kind of considered standard, but not really. 30 cells. That's 111 volts. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can definitely get chargers for all that stuff at at increments of 1 volt or whatever, or 1 cell, 3.4 volts, or 3.6 cell, 3.6 volts. Let's see, even. God had no idea. Good morning, Jayesh. Is cable size only depending on current and not voltage? Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Current is what creates the heat. Current is what will require the larger size. Yeah, because you think about the size of the wire that carries the power lines and down your street. If you live in a urban area where it's like, I mean, like the ones that carry energy from like one city to the next, it's like inch cables. I mean, but they're running incredibly high voltages in the thousands, tens of thousands of volts, right? So yeah, that's you have to do that. Like in order to up the amount of energy that is being transferred, you either have to up the wattage, I mean the power output, or the voltage, right? So one of the two. Let's see. Oh my God, you guys are posting a lot. What is a better charger for 18650 cells? An Opus BT3100V22 or an IMAX charger? I just bought a InLife S4 charger, but I have no laptop's batteries. I'm trying to recover. I'm not sure what to get this charger. But depends. Depends what are you doing? What are you using? I don't know. I mean, like both of those are cheap chargers, so both of them are not very accurate. So it just depends. If you want to charge batteries quicker, or if you have, if you want to do like multi-cell packs, then the IMAX is going to be the better one. But if you just want to, process a bunch of cells, like single cells, and, charge them, discharge them, and test them for capacity, then, well, obviously the Opus is going to be the best one. So it just depends. Those are both about the same quality chargers. They're just very different on what they do. So let's see here. What else did I have? I had another update for you guys, but I forgot about it. Let's see. I'm going to go for an older question. No, I read all of them. I'm good. I'm looking at all of them. All right. So what time is it? 9:29. I think I'm gonna call it a night. That's it. I'm kind of tired. I actually spent all day talking today. It's crazy. I started like around noon. I sat here and I was talking to people back and forth. Had a couple meetings. I finally have a YouTube agent, and we're discussing strategy and all this other stuff to keep my channel growing and all this other stuff, right? And then I ran over and had a meeting with my partners, and then we just discussed all kinds of things into like how to get this batteries and stuff. And then a few good stuff showed up. These fuse holders showed up, but they're kind of weird. I don't know if we're gonna end up using them, because they have the pads in the middle. Let me see, boy. Let's see here. Yeah, it's funky. Like
The pads are exactly on the bottom, so you have to like put solder and then like push them from the bottom. I don't know. I don't think these are gonna work out. If anybody has any ideas how to like solder these onto the boards easily, we might have to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do it. How are we gonna do it? How long is shipping for McMaster-Carr? McMaster-Carr ships super fast because they're down, you know, they're just local here. And yeah, batch 1 is on its way. We were hoping to get pictures of the batch today, well, actually yesterday, but so the people that from the factory that we deal with are like in one city, and then the factory's in like another city, and they're like, well, but like we can't get the pictures, and I'm like, come on. So we're hoping that they're gonna give us pictures. We're gonna be able to share them with you guys, and then, or who cares? Just get the batteries here already, right? So then they should be on their way here pretty soon. If maybe not, maybe they're already, you know what I mean? Like they're already like on a plane, because we're shipping all these air, you know, to be able to like do it in a timely manner. It's not until like we get enough volume that we're gonna be able to ship stuff like, you know, through the sea, you know, like in containers and stuff. Where it's gonna take a few weeks, right? But that's when we have stock, and then we can pre-order stuff weeks ahead, and then get it in here. We also had a lot of problems with the payment stuff. It's crazy because just because it's hard to move a lot of money, you know, from places. Everyone wants to check, everybody wants to put like a things like, whoa, too many orders, too much money, too fast, too quickly, we have to talk to you, we want to like ask you a million questions and stuff, right? So that delayed the process quite a bit, and so now I think we'll work through all those things, and yeah, I think hopefully this second batch is gonna go seamless, and then eventually we're gonna just be able to have stock. That's what we're working on. So before I go, I wanted to share with you guys something. Yeah, before I go, I want to share with you guys, along those batteries, the Boston ones, right? There was a few hundred of these cells. There were NCR 18650. So these are really cool, good cells, right? But they're kind of older. The NCR 18650 are like what people were using back in the day, and then those numbers changed to the DB. I think those are like the ones that we have now that we're using, that there's a bunch available if you go to the mykit.com/Jehu and then the batteries thing. But the interesting thing about these cells is they're brand new, right? They're brand new. And I thought, well, let's check on the date. And look at the date. These are from 07, December 07. I don't know what kind of life these batteries have had. I don't know how you know, how long they've been stored and what conditions they've been stored. But these are 11-year-old cells, and they're brand new, and so they're kind of weird. 11-year-old cells. So then I popped them in our our chargers right there. And what do you guys think they're coming out to? Like, well, first of all, we gotta find the spec sheet, right? So these are just regular NCR 18650Bs. Let's see, let's do the thing. NCR 18650B, no, 18650s, no Bs. Data spec sheet. Let's see here. What are they supposed to be? No, the B is a 3400. The regular NCRTC data sheet search. Let's see. No, man, come on. Come on. Does anybody have it? If anybody can find it, post a link there and then we can... Oh, but you guys can't post links. Let's see. Oh my god. So my computer got kind of like... I got malware. And so now... one browser doesn't work and then the other browser is only using Yahoo search. Which sucks. Because Yahoo search sucks. So definitely I'm going to have to redo my computer. Because who wants to like do that? Who wants all this stuff? Make it your default? Yes. Show me how. No, that's too late. I don't want to spend time doing that right now. Battery space. No, that's... Okay, there we go. I think I found it. Google to the rescue, I think. Okay, here we go. So, oh, but these are not it. 2,700... minimum 2,750, typical 2,900. Really? That can be. Well, can they? Okay, so let me bring one, the ones that I have on the charger, and I'm cycling them. So, whatever. This one will just take longer. Ah, my God. I should have gotten one of the other ones. So anyways, check it out. Here's NCR 18650B. This one only has 2 cycles, and the first cycle is 3067 with 48 milliohms. What's the second one? Come on, man. Focus, camera. Focus. And then the second cycle is 3084, so it's going up. And the internal resistance is going down a little bit. So there's another 4 cells over there, and they're all above the 3000 milliamp hour. So of course those chargers are kind of like, you know, they err on the high side. I wonder if there's another one that's like higher capacity than that. When is this spec sheet? Oh, and look, and it has version 13.11 R1 from 2012. Yeah, so these are old cells, are older. Yeah, the thing is, I don't think cells degrade that much just sitting there. 11 years later, they're still like full capacity. I mean, they're like maybe have like 1 or 2% degradation or something. It's crazy, right? And so I have a few hundred of these things. I'll test a few of them. I'll build some pack with them, you know, and then like put them through like a few like load cycles with like a real load, and then see. Battery Mooch says yes, 2750 milliamp hour minimum, 29 typical rated under 2C. So isn't this crazy? Like 11-year-old cells. Who knows? I mean, if they were. By the way, these were in store here in California. So as far as I know, these are from back east. And so maybe they spent a lot of time like in cold weather in some warehouse or something. That is crazy. Maybe I can send you one, John. Battery Mooch. Would you like to get a couple of these so that you can check 11-year-old cells and test, like, and see if we can come up with like what the percentage is of degradation on such a old battery that has been just sitting on a shelf somewhere? I just find that, you know, interesting. And of course, I've done this before in another video where I explain, and I kept batteries like fully charged to 4.2 volts, you know, for a couple of years in a box, and then I tested them, and I'm like, where's the degradation? It's like this, it's so little, like it's kind of negligible. Okay, so he expects that energy delivered under load will be a lot worse after all that time due to the higher DC internal resistance. So maybe that's where the degradation is not, and not in the capacity that you get under, you know, half an amp, you know, that these things could do. Yeah, so maybe that's those are the other tests that we'll put on these guys, load them, and see. I mean, these are, as far as I know, these are not even like high power cells, right? But they should put out whatever. I could give them a few tests, sure. All right. It's so cool that Battery Mooch is on board to test batteries. He's like me. He gets excited probably about testing cells. We're such weirdos. I mean, who does that, right? Yeah, no, I think it's like, I don't know. I think it's a great opportunity. Like, who can see such, because by the time we're getting these, right, like in laptop packs and whatever, by the time most of us are getting these cells, they're like, these are beat up cells, you know, they've been put on their, you know, almost torture and stuff. In the laptops, they definitely get a horrible life. But wherever else they just happen to be, you know, you don't know where they've been. And so you're getting cells that have a lot of life. And so, but never like new, because who hangs on to like pristine boxes, you know, of cells for 11 years. So, question, I need to build a battery to power a flat screen TV. Any suggestions? Van Life. Yeah, just click on kit.com/Jehu and then go to the page where I have a bunch of batteries in there. Like those batteries are most of the batteries that we tested, we used, and we decided that they're okay or a good deal or something like that. But all right. With that said, I think we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna go sleep and then work on some videos. I have a couple good videos coming up for you guys. And then, yeah, let's build some Powerwalls. Let's build some more projects. Thank you for all your support, guys. Thank you, Battery Mooch, for helping us with those batteries. Island Times, thank you as always for helping with the crowd here, moderate the thing. We gotta start talking about the forum. Remember I told you about the forum? We want to pick that up and maybe make it happen soon. Who else? Anyone that's a member of the channel, thank you very much for supporting and making these live chats available. Patreons, if you're my patron, well, thank you for doing that. I mean, you guys are awesome. I couldn't do it without you guys. Jay Connell, thank you. Please send me an email. Thank you. Thank you for the $10. I will check your. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll send you an email right now. Ooh, all right. So with that, oh man, my thing got stuck. Well, and with that, say thank you one more time, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night. I saw a documentary on the building of the Twin Towers, and it turns out they're so close to the ocean, they needed to retain all that water. So they had to build these walls, and each one of those little things there are screws. They're just rods, steel rods that are going through the bedrock to hold that wall. And this is not the only, this is probably the last one because the building was right there. So this is
I think those
last
are
one.
called anchor bolts.
Anchor bolts, yeah. And they call those walls slurry walls. Crystal's covered up like it was sandy.
I'm cold.
Today I'm gonna show you how to build this electric skateboard. As you know, electric skateboards are a thing now. They've been a thing for a while. There's the expensive ones, there's the cheap ones, and everything in between. But there's a new breed of electric skateboards. They're off-road. And you got a glimpse of one of them last time I was in New York. And I got to meet Vitaly, which runs the Portable Electric Vehicles channel on YouTube. He built himself this beast of an electric skateboard that supposedly does about 55 miles per hour, which is just insane. So I thought I would show you how I would build one on the cheap, using off-the-shelf parts to keep the build simple. So let's get started.
Let's make a Powerwall.
Positive, positive. Well, they're not super even, but they're okay. Whoa, they are kind of all over the place. And just like that, we assembled a 1 kilowatt hour battery pack, 24 volts, ready to be used. All right, so I just arrived in Manhattan. My allergies are killing me. You see, oh my God, I feel like crap. But it's early. A few other family members are here this time around, so I'm gonna go meet them. They're somewhere already exploring the city, so I gotta go get them. All right, we made it to Grand Central Station. This is a test of a Light-O-Color branded LG HG2 cell. According to the spec sheet, this cell can do a maximum of 20 amp continuous and shouldn't go above 75 degrees Celsius in temperature. And just like that, with that little crack, the cell is damaged beyond repair. At 15 amp load, the cell reached a maximum temperature of 100 degrees Celsius, at which point the CID was triggered, and now the battery is open circuit. So that's how you kill a fake LG HG2 branded Light-O-Color cells.
Look at it go.
Hierro.
I don't know. Oh my god!
Ahora sí. Ya.
Let's talk about the EV West M3.
I'm Michael Breen with EV West, and 7 years ago we started our little electric car speed shop so we could help people make classic cars go faster. At the time we were looking around for venues and there wasn't a lot available to electric cars, and we came across Pikes Peak and they actually had a class. And we ended up building the car, purpose-built for Pikes Peak. We ran the race in 2012. We ended up setting a record for the fastest street-legal electric car to go up the hill.
Now the car that Michael is talking about is the famous M3.
342 horsepower and 850.4 pound-feet of torque.
A few years later, I saw it.
We almost lost our wheel right here.
So how much does this Powerwall cost? Let's do a rundown on the prices of all the components. First, we have the solar charge controller available for $38.99, the bidirectional meter at $29.99, non-interruptible power supply available for $30. The battery modules are $50 each. There's 10 of them, so it's $500 in total. The 32-inch metal box is $59.22. A fuse holder is $682. The battery management system, the long ones are $14 each, and the main unit is like $200, so it comes down to a total of $342. All these components come to a grand total of $1,008 US. You can find the links for all these parts on the description of this video. I want to thank you for watching. Stay tuned for future videos, all having to do with DIY renewable energy. Back to Puerto Rico for the third time. We're gonna help some people get some power. Internal resistance and okay, so here's a whole pallet of these modem ones. Look at these guys. It's 11,000 cells right there. Ready to be deployed in Puerto Rico.
You got yourselves?
I got myself.
All right. You got yourselves?
Yeah, I got myself.
All right. So you want to build a DIY Powerwall. I'll show you how to do one. Using these as batteries and these as your inverter, you can build a small DIY Powerwall. Let's get going.
You ever wonder what people think about our electric conversions? See the reactions on this 70s Porsche 911.
The one that, yeah, that's good one for me, yeah. Yeah, like
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Fuck yes. In a Porsche. Fuck yes.
Some 100 kilometers south of the border, there exists a place. This is what's known as La Bufadora. It's a place where the water comes out. It's a blowhole. And let's sit around and watch the water come out. I think I'm gonna get wet. Was La Bufadora all that is cracked up to beer?
Yes.
Were you impressed?
I was splashed. Watch your step. Big splash.
Yeah, I was like 7 years old last time.
Look, I'm allergic to birds.